How you guys doing out there? This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. And once again, man, it's your host, Caleb Thompson, man. I appreciate you guys tuning into these videos, as I always say. And let me give you the proper introduction. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. And it's your host, Caleb Thompson. And I would just like to, once again, thank you guys for watching these videos. I would like to thank you guys for just everything, man. Just being a part of what we have going on here, man. Just being a part of, all the things that we are accomplishing here through this podcast at the House of Business Podcast 2.0. Man, it's been a journey, as I should say, not in a bad way, but man, it's been a journey, man. It's been a blessing, man. It's been some ups, some downs, but ultimately, we make it through every last obstacle, man. We make it through every last up and down, man. And I'm also grateful to be able to go through some of these obstacles, man, and these trials that I go through. I count it as a blessing, because how can I sit up here and just tell someone else, man, you need to be resilient. You need to, do this. I'm giving information about sales. I'm giving information about collaboration. I'm giving information about character. I'm giving information about, different aspects of business and personal self-development. But I haven't went through any of that. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I have went through it, but I'm telling you things from experience. So I have a right to, share knowledge and understanding and wisdom through my experience and through, going through certain things, man, and experiencing certain things in certain walks of life. And I've gained that badge, man. Sorry about that. I gained that badge to share that with you guys, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. I hope you guys really take what we say here at the House Business Podcast and just apply it to your lives, man, or just eat the meat and leave the bones. Like my dad used to always say, eat the meat and leave the bones. I mean, take whatever you can to apply to your life. Whatever doesn't apply to you, you don't have to take it, you know what I mean? Or share it, man. Maybe someone else may need a piece of information that you didn't need at this current moment, and you can share it with a colleague, you can share it with a business partner, and maybe that will help them in some areas, both in business and also in their personal walk and personal self-development journey. Okay, the title we have for this message is 5 Things That Changed My Life This Year. Now, I know we're going to get kind of personal, but, this is more on, I'm just not going to give you just experiences that I had, but these are 5 things that I've learned that's in depth, with personal development and dealing with character, but things that I've learned, man, that basically changed the trajectory of my life. Things that I needed to go through to help me become a better leader, a better businessman, a better friend, a better business partner, and a better business partner with God. I don't have a business partner at the moment, but even with God, man, and even in some areas, just better in relationships all around. Taught me this, a lot of these obstacles and a lot of these things that I went through, man, these setbacks, it just wasn't for resilience, for me to develop resilience. It wasn't just for me to develop, just that grit, you know what I mean? Or that it wasn't just for that. It was also bringing out the authenticity in me. It was bringing out that authenticity. It was helping me not to care what people think, to walk in my true authentic self. I always walked in my authenticity, my true authentic self, but we've all at one point in time of our lives, before we truly woke up to who we were, what we wanted to do with our lives, our dreams, passions, destiny, what we feel like we was placed on this earth to do, and what we know we was placed on this earth to do. Once you have that type of information, it's easier for you to walk in your authenticity. It's easier for you to say that, I got a goal and I got a plan. I feel like, heaven's backing me up. I feel like this is what I was born for, and I'm just going to do it regardless, whatever comes. So that helps you to walk in your authenticity. But we've all been to that point where some point in our lives we were a people pleaser. Some point in our lives we cared about what people thought about us. We cared about the way people thought that we dressed. We cared about if people thought we had tattoos or not, or what was the social norm, or if we're following the trends. We all had that point in time in our lives. But these things, now I didn't just start walking into authenticity, but I'm just saying that these things that I learned this year has really pushed me to a point where there's the point of no return. There's no going backwards, man. There's no maybe it's there's not even an option to go backwards. There's not even an option to see if there's a way that I could I can't even think of anything, but there's no going backwards, man. It's like over from here. It's either move forward or move forward. There's no there's no backwardness. There's no backpedaling. You know what I mean? So that's what that did. It brought me across a big divide, and it basically burnt the bridge up where there's no going back. So whatever we do from this point, we're going to keep growing, moving forward. And as we continue to do so, we'll continue to pump you guys full of knowledge, because this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0, the place where we give you the knowledge and tools to execute your own dreams and visions as we execute ours. So 5 things that changed my life this year. Number 1, and this is one of the most powerful things that changed my life, is understanding the power of silence. I want you to know that silence is a strategy. A lot of people, man, they're only around you. A lot of people are only your friend. A lot of people are only, and I'm gonna put this in because I was married before, and I was also in relationships before where the spouse was actually jealous. Your spouse could be jealous of you, man. Your girlfriend or your boyfriend could be jealous of you just because you may have a better job, or just because people love you, or just because and you have to be careful with these things. But your spouse, your girlfriend, can be jealous of you and intentionally sabotage you to try to keep you guys both on the same level. Or this is things that people don't really talk about. So there are some things in life that you have to keep to yourself until you really figure out who you're dealing with, what they're in your life for. If you guys both have a common goal, a lot of people they're together, or they're only with a person, not sometimes because that person is beautiful, and sometimes they have trauma bonds, things that they both go through that they have in common, that's unhealthy bonds. But sometimes people are only together as a crutch, as a crutch to each other, because that's just the truth. But my thing is this: silence is strategy. Understanding the power of silence is one of the best things that I've understood, to keep your mouth shut. When you're working on something big, keep your mouth shut. There's plenty of times when I started Thompson Square Gardens Restaurant Company, I actually put it out there, man, that the website is going to be up and running, this and that. You know what I mean? I started to put it out there, man, and when I put it out there, the business started to fail immediately, and I just knew someone was speaking negative on it. Some people was, putting curses on it. You know what I mean? I had a lot of obsessed exes. You know what I mean? That was mad they couldn't control me. Mad that mad that I just didn't. I was no tolerance for some of the things that was going on. So they was probably putting who knows what, you know what I mean, on speaking against, my business endeavors, and plenty of other people that was intimidated. But it just started to fail. Now somebody would say, man, don't you think that things just happen? Why would you take it to that extreme, saying someone tried to do this and tried to do that? I'm just going to tell you like this: things do just happen, but things do just happen by things happening with the help of someone. Don't think anything just happened. Nothing in this world just happened. So you can go through life being unconscious of the reality of life and think things just happen. Everything happens for a reason. Either it's caused by a person, something. It has some kind of cause, and that bursts the effect of why the business fails. So the cause of number 1 is just I expose my plans in a premature state. It's just like when you're birthing a business, you want to give birth to that business. But if you expose that, you know what I mean, you're carrying something that's precious or dear to you, it can be aborted. It's kind of like a woman having a baby or birthing a child. This is basically the same the analogy I'm going to use when you're being creative and you're creating businesses, you're creating strategies, you're creating just say marketing ideas. If you give these ideas or you share these things with the wrong person and they become jealous or they become envious, you know, they can go behind your back and use means and ways to try to sabotage things that you're trying to create and abort those plans. So the power of silence, you know what I mean? That's number one thing that I've learned that changed my life this year. Number two is cultivating patience. Learning how to embrace divine timing. Man, it's something about going. See, a lot of people don't want to go through the process. I'm gonna tell you what the process consists of. The process of becoming great, the process of becoming authentic, the process of becoming a person that honestly doesn't care what people think about them. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. There are two types of versions of yourself that you don't care what people think about you. You know what I mean? And the number one version that you know the world would try to get you to embrace and not care what people think about is the version of yourself that's down and out. The version of yourself that doesn't have enough. The version of yourself that's operating out of these lower frequencies. The version of yourself that's addicted. The version of yourself that's lazy. It was, I don't care what anybody think about me. They, you know, this and that. And you will defend you wanting and desiring to be in that state because you may be hopeless, you don't feel like there's a way out, but that's the version of yourself that the world claps for and wants you to stay the same because there's a lot of other people that don't want to grow and don't want to move forward in life, so they want you to be there. And it's just easier, you know, it's just easier to bow down to laziness. It's just easier to bow down to anger and bitterness. It's just easier. But it's hard. It's hard to still get up, to hope. It's hard to hope. It's hard to move forward when things are not going your way. It's hard to continue to get up and pursue things that doesn't seem like they're working. It's hard to go through mockery. It's hard to go through betrayal from your closest friends and family. It's hard to go through sabotage. It's hard to go through envy and jealousy for no reason. These things are the path less traveled. But if you will make it through these things, man, I'm telling you, you're going to shine brighter. You're going to be stronger. And you're also going to be in a position where you'll be able to help someone else that's going through these things that doesn't know how to navigate that type of turmoil yet. You know what I mean? The only reason why you go through some of these tragic cycles or these tragic battles is it's just not for yourself. Everything that I go through, I really understand that it's not for me. I believe that everything I go through is not for me. I'm not just going through this and like, oh, woe is me, life is so hard. No, I do know and I do understand that if I go through anything, that it's not for me. 5 years from now, I can go through something. I can be like, man, I don't even understand why I went through that. I'm not even. It's just like being a math major, having to be a math major. And then once you graduate, you go into something else. You go become a firefighter. And you're just like, man, I don't even know why I even desired to waste that much time on, or why I had to go through that at that time. And later on, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, you may figure out why you had to go through that. It may not match up immediately with where your life is going, the trajectory of your life, or what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. But there will come a time where that skill is going to be needed. Nothing in this life is wasted. I want you to know that. I was just talking earlier and talking about in another podcast that we had. And I was just basically saying, man, it's the Morning Roasted podcast we have every morning, just dealing with affirmations, just starting your day where we make your mornings matter most. That's the slogan for that podcast, the Morning Roasted podcast. But I was basically talking about, man, it seems like I've lived a million lives all within the 36 years of life I've lived. I've been a chef, you know what I mean? I've been a carpenter. I've been a car salesman. I've sold air fresheners. I had an air freshener business, you know, selling different man, I've done e-bikes. I've lived about a million lives. It seems like, man, I've done it all, it seems like. But I want you to know something, that nothing will be wasted. There will come a point in time where you will have a divine, and you will intersect with someone else's life, and something that you forgot about or something that you experienced that you believe is wasted. And at that moment, at that point, at that time in that person's life, that piece of information will be exactly what they need to help them through what they're going through. Everything that you go through is not for you. I ran across someone that end up talking to someone else. It's just the nick of time, man. Sometimes you don't know what people are going through. This guy was going to kill himself, or this woman was going to kill herself. She lost her son. Everything was just going bad. You know what I mean? A salesman came to her door and was just trying to sell her some window spray or something like that. And when he was trying to sell her that, man, he was just asked, like, you know, she was like, "You want to come in?" He ended up coming in the house. She had a gun on the table. Probably within the next 30 seconds, she was going to kill herself, but she said he knocked on the door trying to sell her a product. And man, the way that he presented that product, the way that he made her laugh, made her believe that there was still some hope in life, man. And that salesman is still cool with this lady this day, man. Lost her son, lost her job, lost everything that she held dear to her. The only thing that she probably had was her house and a gun. She even lost her mind, actually, you know what I mean, to be at that state of mind by the pressures of life. But just that encounter saved her life. So he could have been like, man, I'm out here selling window spray. It's other people out there, man. They're living a good life. They're massive content creators. You know what I mean? They're on yachts. They're partying in Miami. You know, and I'm sitting here selling window spray, you know, for a living, man. This is the life I thought I would live. But just by him doing what he was born to do, man, having that skill set of a salesman, easily being able to sell, he saved someone's life and created a long-lasting, probably a lifetime friendship with that person. So, but it's all about patience. So the number 2 thing that changed my life this year is cultivating patience, understanding patience, man, how to embrace divine timing. It's all going to happen, man, when it's supposed to happen. Don't try to make it happen any faster. Patience, and I want you to know, patience doesn't mean to be idle and do nothing. It means to wait and work while being in expectation. It means to wait with the right attitude, basically. If I'm saying I'm being patient, that's not me being full of anxiety, like, when is it going to happen? I expect something good to happen, but I do understand that it's not in my timing. I heard somebody say this: when you're waiting, what does waiters do? Well, you're a waiter, you serve. So I'm still serving people, you know what I mean? I may not have the money that I desire right now at this moment to help people the way that I want to help people. Not saying that I'm broke, but I'm saying that I don't have what I want to do more for people. I want to bring people out of places that I've been in. You know, out of some of this turmoil, man. A lot of things that I went through, the process that I went through to get where I am in life, to be who I am in life. You know, I'm not trying to soften anyone's journey or get in the way of anyone else's process. But what I do desire to do is to not make certain people have to take the stairs if I could be an elevator. I don't want you to have to go through all of this if you have someone that can be a bridge that can help you get from one level to the next. So that's my goal, man, not to make anyone weak, because you can weaken someone's process by getting in the way of someone's process of what God is doing in someone else's life, to build them to a certain caliber, a certain degree, or to expand their capacity mentally, to expand their capacity spiritually. you can get in the way of that by giving them a crutch or helping them before their time, and they can bypass a process that they really did need to be strong in that area, either mentally or whatever. So I do want to do it in a way that, but I'm being patient. So when you're patient, patient doesn't mean to be idle. It means to wait in expectation with the right attitude. And what do waiters do? They serve. Waiters serve people while they wait, having the right attitude. Number 3, internal and external rewards of focus. So this is, if you're just now tuning in, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. The title of this episode is called 5 Things That Changed My Life This Year. 5 things that changed my life this year. Number 1 is understanding the power of silence. Number 2 is cultivating patience. And number 3 is where we are right now currently, is internal and external rewards of focus. If you narrow your attention, it elevates your results. If you narrow your attention, it elevates your results. That's basically mean that some people say, man, don't be all over, man. It's just way too many distractions, man. It's way too many distractions out here, man. You need to narrow your focus. You are wasting massive amounts of time. If you, the number one thing that you never do is put your attention on someone else. You never do that. You never take your God-given precious time that you have, that you've been blessed with in life, and use it to worry about someone else's life. And if you do, you need to be worried or trying to figure out a solution for your children, for your spouse, for your own situation. That is the most disrespectful thing that you can do to yourself. You don't have to disrespect anyone else. You can disrespect yourself by saying, you know what, self, I don't even care about what we need to do. I want to spend my time and worry about what the next person is doing. You are disrespecting yourself. You are telling yourself, shut up, sit down. You are telling your future, shut up, sit down. You are telling progress, shut up, sit down. I'm going to control this situation, and I want to spend my time worried about somebody else. I don't want to spend my time worried about or trying to figure out what we need to do to get out of this situation. I don't want to wait. I don't want to spend my time figuring out how can I reconnect with my family or bond with my children that I haven't been in their life. I don't want to spend I want to spend my time worried about what someone else is doing. That is the most disrespectful thing that a human being can do, and it is a slap in the face to God, and it is a slap in the face to your children. It is a slap in the face to your loved ones. It is a slap in the face to yourself for you to spend this limited time on this earth and use it to worry about someone else's life when you have your own life to worry about and to take care of. So number 3 was internal and external rewards of focus. Internally, there's a reward if you focus on what you need to focus on. See, there's a lot of times that I don't have anyone clapping for me. I don't have anything that I accomplish, anything that I do in this life, besides heaven, you know what I mean? But it's not like I just see a vision full of angels and God saying, you go get them, tiger. No, it's not like that. But there's an internal reward of myself. I reward myself. I don't need validation. If I accomplish something, I'm saying, man, you did a good job. A lot of times I compliment myself. A lot of times I clap for myself. A lot of times I go in the mirror and say, man, it was a hard day today, but you took care of business, and I'm proud of you. I tell myself these things. I'm not looking for no one else to be happy for me. I'm not looking for no one else to be proud of what I'm doing in life. I congratulate myself. I pat myself on the back. I reward myself. And these are the internal rewards of focus. When you focus, okay, the internal reward, internal rewards of focus is you get more peace. You start to be disciplined and have control over emotional distractions. So some of the internal rewards that you get from being focused on yourself, on your goals, on what you want to do with your life. It's just some things I don't care about, man. I don't care about what anyone else is doing. If I want to customize shoes, I don't care if it's Air Force Ones, and it can be 50, it could be thousands and thousands of people customizing shoes. I don't care. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. Because they have their own style, but I'm bringing something to the table that's gonna, you know what I mean, that's gonna be birthed in my creativity that comes from my own personality, my own passions, and my own experience. I don't care if 500 people in the same town is doing the same. Now, I'm not saying that jump on the bandwagon as if it's a trend. If everybody, this person's making tacos, this person's making tacos, and then you saying, you know what, it'd be a good thing to make tacos. Like, I'm not saying jump on the bandwagon. I'm basically saying something that you are passionate about, something that you want to do. It doesn't matter if someone else is doing it. People are going to come to you because they understand the uniqueness behind what you create. Yeah, they can go over here and get a cheeseburger, but they want yours. They can go over here and get their car washed, but they want you to do it. It's something about your uniqueness, who you are as a person, that draws individuals to you. It's your passion. It's about what you do, loving what you do. You need to find something that you love to do. Find a buried dream, find a long lost goal, dig it up out the grave and start to work towards it and bring that thing back to life. I don't care if you wanted to start a car wash. I don't care if you wanted to start a laundry service. Bring it back to life, man. Wherever you are right now, start right now. You want to start a laundry service? Wherever you are, you tell people, I'm washing laundry. You know what I mean? I'm doing $10 a load. You know what I'm saying? Or $5 a load. You put your laundry in a bag. I'm gonna write your name on it, tag it. You can leave it with me. And when you guys leave, go to work or whatever, I'll have your laundry ready. When you get back, it'll be folded up. It'll be smelling good. And I'll take part of that money and I'll go get dryer sheets. I'll go get my own laundry soap. You can start a laundromat right where you're at and just have people write their name on their clothes and leave their clothes as they go to work or leave or whatever. You do $2 a load. You can do, if this is a small load, I'll do it for $2. You leave, I'll wash the clothes. This is a medium-sized load, I'll do it for $7. If it's a large load, I'll do it for $10. And then I'll use part of that money to go and get some more products, you know what I mean? Get some dryer sheets. They can be dollar dryer sheets, as long as the clothes smell good. To get some laundry soap, get my own laundry soap, or get some laundry soap from wherever I am, and still get some fabric softener, whatever. But whatever dream that you have, you can still bring that dream back to life, starting where you are. So there is an internal reward for being focused, and there is an external reward for being focused. And the external reward is that you'll receive money. You'll receive money. You'll receive notoriety, not just saying that's what you're doing it for. You'll receive advertisement, free advertisement whenever you do something good and a product is just booming and banging, and people say, man, this product is amazing. They're going to advertise you for free. They're going to word of mouth. They're going to vouch for you. They're going to do some free marketing for you from word of mouth. So that is the external reward of doing something or getting started at something that you desire to do. Okay, and number 4 is freedom from unforgiveness. Man, this is once again, like I said, it's the House of Business Podcast. Your host, Caleb Thompson. This is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. The title of this episode is 5 Things That Changed My Life This Year. And number 4 is freedom from unforgiveness, man. I learned that forgiveness is like a release, not just a gift to others, but a liberation for yourself, man. It frees you, man. I actually went through so much trauma, man, growing up. I went through so much trauma in relationships. I went through so many toxic cycles in my life, and even trying to separate myself from some of these toxic cycles, family members, and man, trauma-filled, family patterns and generational curses. While trying to get away from them, these things chased me down. That means that I couldn't get away from, I just wanted to walk away, man. And these things would not let me walk away, man. I still had those temptations, man, to go backwards, man. I still had those, those toxic thoughts, man. I still, like, certain part, I had to unlearn almost everything that I've learned about life, about family, about God, about, work, I had to break all those thought patterns and really seek the truth and really try to understand that if this guy, I'm not just meant to sit here, work a job, live and die. Don't get me wrong. Some people like to work and some people don't. Every entrepreneurship is not for everyone. And, but I'm saying, man, it was just something in me that wanted more out of life. And I couldn't have what I really wanted to have, by being around my family, man. They was just, I had to separate from them, man. Every time I had an idea, they'll shoot it down. Every time I said I wanted to do something, they'll be like, yeah. If it was somebody else, they'll all hands on deck. They'll help them. But with me, they knew it was something in me and they didn't want to help me. They wanted me to do good, but they didn't want me to do better than them. They didn't want me to, supersede their expectation. To them, I was supposed to be a gangster, be in prison. I was supposed to be, addicted. I was supposed to be, a nobody. That's according to their expectation of me, but I broke all those expectations. But even while I started my journey to move forward and break out of these family patterns and break these generational curses, people in my family still chase me. They still chase me with lies. They started smear campaigns. They was, calling me this, calling me that. But the more that I sat back and I was quiet and I continued to focus and work on what I needed to focus on, all of these lies and all of these expectations of me being a failure it was like a myth buster. It started to fail. They started to be embarrassed. And as they started to be embarrassed, they took matters into their own hands to still do witchcraft on me, to still, lie about whoever would listen. So because it embarrassed them for them to talk about somebody and you don't want somebody to be somebody because because you don't want to be anybody. None of my brothers, man, my mom and dad had 14 kids and nobody tried to get rich. You know what I'm saying? And then when I start the journey and start to develop businesses and go through the process of becoming wealthy and changing my mindset and changing the way I think and wanting to help people, then here they come all out of the woodworks and trying to destroy me. Where was it? It's 14 kids, 14 of us. I'm number 11, so that lets you know that it's 10 other older children in front of me. You telling me out of that whole 10, nobody tried to get rich, nobody tried to break the generational curses, nobody wanted to go through the process, nobody wanted to help each other, because everybody just wanted to work, live, get married, die, and that's it. Everybody wanted to live in poverty. Nobody wanted to leave a will for their children. And then as soon as I say I'm not going to live like this and I move forward, then here's all the attacks. Here's all the lies. Here's all the, trying to, ban me from the family. Here's all the, leaving me out the group chats. I'm not get invited to anything because I want to do something different. So I want people to understand this just didn't start. People think, man, who did this person think they are? Who they think they did, man? People don't know your story. People don't know where you come from. People don't know what you've already went through. People don't know anything about you. People just throw their own projections on you and thinking this is your first rodeo. They don't, just because you don't look like what you've been through doesn't mean you haven't been through anything. Man, that's one thing my dad used to say. He used to always say, man, this isn't my first rodeo. This is just a brand new pair of cowboy boots. This is not my first rodeo. This is just a brand new pair of cowboy boots. Just because I got a new pair of boots, and I'm walking in a new pair of boots, you thinking I've never been to a rodeo. You thinking I've never rode a horse. You thinking I've never done a barrel race. You thinking that I've never been a cowboy because I got a brand new pair of boots on. This is not my first rodeo. I just went and bought a brand new pair of cowboy boots. So you need to understand that you will never know what anyone has went through, and that's why you don't need to judge anyone. But that's one thing that I've went through, man. But I had to learn forgiveness. I had to forgive them, man, for everything that they done, because, man, all that resentment and offense, man, it was weighing me down. So it just got to a point where I couldn't bear it anymore, man. Waking up thinking about, man, why did this person do me like this? Why did my family betray me and mock me like this? When everything I'm doing it for them. I wanted to buy my mother a house. My family attacked me, turned everybody against me. even including her in some aspect, aspect of it, to try to shame me. And I'm like, everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm pursuing is for our family. It's for our bloodline. But they were still used to attack me while trying to create streams of and revenues of wealth to help them out of poverty. So, some people just will never understand what God has put in your heart to pursue. Some people will never understand what you're trying to accomplish. Some people won't get it until it's done. So I had to understand that until the business is built, until the money is in the account, until you have the nice car, until you have the house, until you build until you do all these things, people don't see the vision until it's done. So you just got to keep your head down, keep working. And even if you're doing it for them, they don't understand it. They may attack it. They may mock you and intentionally try to misunderstand you. But no, just keep working. There's going to come a time where they're going to need jobs. There's going to come a time where you're going to be the one to still have to help them with money. They're going to need money. Some of them may say, man, let me come and work for you, and you're still going to have your heart right. And I'm not saying, pray about it first, but I'm just saying, man, you're still going to have to that's going to be a test to make sure that you truly have forgiven those who have hurt you. That's part of your family. People that you feel like do not deserve forgiveness for some of the things that they've done and said. And, it's just, man, just some unfathomable things that you didn't think family would do to you. I can expect someone off the street to talk about me like this. I can expect someone that I don't know to sabotage me or take my name to an evil altar. I can, I can expect that out of people I never grew up with. I can expect that out of someone that we didn't sleep on the same couch, or sleep on the same floor, was raised in the same house. So you can expect, but those are the things that happen. Cain killed Abel. You know what I mean? Cain killed Abel. Joseph's brothers threw him in the pit, wanted to kill him. You know what I mean? So, David's brothers, you know what I mean? They all hated him. There's plenty of stories throughout history outside of the Bible how family killed each other, you know what I mean? Either for power, either for money. There's stories how children has killed their parents for an inheritance. You know what I mean? So none of this stuff is new. There's nothing new under the sun. But I had to learn forgiveness. Sometimes you'll never be able to really understand things until you go through it. People can say you need to forgive. People can say that they understand how you feel when you lose a child. People can say they understand how you feel when you're going through divorce. People can really say that but they really don't understand until they really experience it and experience the emotion and the pain behind some of these things. And if they make it through those things with the right spirit, not becoming bitter, but becoming better and healing through that pain, then they will be placed in a position where they can help someone else to go through those things and to grieve in a healthy manner. So, but true forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. You can forgive someone, but you don't have to let them back around you. You know what I mean? Forgiveness is an internal thing, but I can forgive someone. I can know that they did me wrong. I can still say, hey, I can wave, but I don't have to be around you. I don't have to sit. We don't have to sit here and play patty cake like we're 4 years old. And this is weird. You know what I mean? We don't have to sit here and pick up a game of basketball. We don't have to do all that. We don't have to sit here and fake play like, you know what I mean? Like I want to be around you. I'm not going to do that. But I will wave. I will be respectful. I will acknowledge you as a human being and as a part of my family, or family or ex-friend or whatever. I will wave. But as far as me being fake and being around you and putting my life in danger and all that, I don't trust you. 5, I want you to know that isolation is a spiritual gym. It's a spiritual, mental gym, and it also can be a physical gym. So a lot of times when people want to isolate you and keep you away from everybody else or use means to isolate you, isolation is good. Isolation isn't punishment, but it's preparation. A lot of times people need isolation because there's been a lot of times, man, on my journey where it was one point in time in my life where I could not be by myself. I don't care if I went through my younger years. Sometimes I bought my friends. Some people was never around unless I had the liquor. Some people was never around unless I had the weed. Then when they had the weed, they never called me. When they had the liquor, they never called me. So, I know this is a business podcast, but I'm just being completely honest. I want to be honest because this is not something where we're sitting here and we're acting like we're not adults. We're not acting like we haven't, lived life to a point. There's probably some woman that's listening to this podcast right now that's a successful businesswoman, but she's still having temptations with sleeping with multiple men. But that doesn't mean she isn't rich. That doesn't mean that she isn't a good boss. You know what I'm saying? But so you just never know, man. We are all human. And we've all went through these things, and I want you to understand that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not the first one to go through it. There's going to be someone else that's going to come behind you, that's going to need your wisdom, your intellect, and that's going to need your help on making it through and to navigate some of these problems that we have. So the only reason that you went through it is just to help someone else. Don't feel shame for being addicted to any drug or substance or alcohol. Don't be ashamed for having multiple sex partners. Don't be ashamed at one point in time in your life that you went through a divorce. Don't be ashamed if you've been betrayed, mocked, if you've been homeless. Don't be ashamed of those things. Just understand and know that those things happen and they occurred in your life because those are just obstacles for you to come out on top. You're supposed to be the victor over those obstacles. Those obstacles was not set there to break you down, to make you feel like a nobody, but they were placed there because you have what it takes to come out of those situations. And you're also going to be able to be placed in a position where you're going to help someone else out of homelessness. You're going to help someone else out of that financial rut. You're going to help someone else clean their credit up. You're going to help someone else, be able to buy their first home or their first property. You're going to help someone else, learning how to invest and do day trading or whatever it is, so do not be ashamed. But isolation is a spiritual gem. Isolation is a punishment, it's preparation. I want you to know that solitude is training ground for your strength, for your vision, and for a deeper sense of identity. Like I said before, man, there was sometimes I couldn't be alone. I didn't know how to be by myself. But when being forced into a place of isolation, when everyone abandons you, there's nowhere else to go. It's just you and God. There's nowhere else to go but to go within. And a lot of times, I had to understand that the reason why I wanted to be around people, the reason why I wanted to be in the crowd, the reason why I wanted to be part of the group was just because I wasn't running from anyone else. I was running from myself. When I was alone, I get drunk. I couldn't sit alone with myself, but by being forced to a place of isolation, I really started to understand what I really liked. I really started to understand what gifts I had, what was my passions. It took me off of the bandwagon, and it helped me to really understand who I truly was. And it started to bring me, who I truly am, back to life. The person that I lost by going with the societal norms, the person that was lost in the midst of the turmoil of being raised in a toxic family dynamic, the person who was buried and lost from going through toxic relationships and misunderstandings and going through fights and being in gangs. That person of who I truly was and who I really wanted to be and who I knew I was supposed to be was lost and buried and destroyed in the rubble of just my everyday life growing up. So once I started to be alone, that person started to be raised from the grave, man. It was just like a resurrection. The person of who I truly am, to my authentic self. Now I can be happy if people don't like me. I know I can be myself and be okay with people not liking me, but I'm still not going to change, man, to make people comfortable. I'm still going to not fake like life is. I'm going to tell you something. This is something that I learned. Some people are happy, but they fake like they're not having a good life, so everybody else around, they can fit in with everyone else. Like, your life isn't that bad, man. You know what I mean? You ate good today, man. You had a good workout. You know what I'm saying? You this and that. But some people make it seem like their life is worse than it is because they're so used to, they're scared about what everybody else is going to think. If I'm happy, somebody else is going to be mad. It's going to make me a target. I'm going to be happy whether I become a target or not. I don't know how to be anybody else. I don't want to, this is another quote my dad used to say. Be yourself because everybody else is taken. Be yourself, man. Everybody else is taken. You don't want to be. Don't try to be somebody else. He's taken. She's taken. They're their own person. Don't want to be anyone else. If I see some qualities in someone else that I really like, I don't try to outbe that person. I take whatever those qualities that I admire about that person. I say, man, that's something I want to do with my life, and I start to work towards it. But I don't work towards being a complete carbon copy of someone else. I would just take some of those qualities that I admire and I work towards developing those same things within myself. But I don't want to be a whole nother carbon copy of someone else. I want to be my own authentic, unique self. I want to be weird. I want to be free. I want to be, you know what I mean, myself, man. I want to be anybody else. So, you know what I mean? Isolation is a spiritual gem. You know, isolation helps you detox from unhealthy dependencies. And that's what one thing we was just talking about. When I went into isolation, it helped me to stand on my own 2 feet. Helped me to detox and get away from unhealthy relationships and things that I was dependent on to get me through the day. And I want you to know, this is the last thing. I want you to know that every great leader goes through an isolation season. The isolation season basically is the resurrection of your authentic self, and every great leader, every great person that was ever in history will tell you that there was a season in their life that was the most profound season in their life, that it was isolation. It was being alone, figuring out who they are, what they like, what they were put on this earth for. They went through the isolation season. But man, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, man. Like I said, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is the place where we give the knowledge and tools to execute your dreams and visions. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. And I want you guys to know we will be back next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming live from Manhattan. I'm signing out. Peace.